our return units weren't the weapons they should have been. And so there was a lot of fundamental focus, both on our pump pressure and our kickoff return units, just to get better at the techniques and fundamentals of blocking. And then our return guys, they got reps every single day. I do feel like we have some guys that can be weapons back there. Travis J, Corey Wren, Jamie Robinson, Keyshawn Helton, all those guys got a bunch of reps, Ja'Kai Douglas. So, I think we'll have the people that can do it. It's a matter of us being able to put it all together.
We'll go back to Ira.
We got to watch you guys run that drill a lot where you it's like you have a gunner and somebody going, or not a gunner, but just somebody coming down on coverage and a guy running with him to try to get in front of him to hold him up. Is that drill more about technique or effort? I guess it's a combination of both, but what makes guys successful in that drill?
But no, so the 2-on-2 punt versus punt pressure compete drill, it's both. I mean, it's obviously the effort that you want to compete to win the drill. But it's the techniques and fundamentals that allow you to have success within the drill. So, from a pump pressure standpoint, we're working at the line of scrimmage, making sure we're using our feet, trying to delay the release the best of our ability. And then it puts us in real life situations at the end of a punt return, how you finish the play and what techniques you use to finish. And then from a cover standpoint, it's about your release, your ability to stack and then get on top of whoever's trying to block you and put them in a unblockable situation. So, there's so much to learn from every rep because it is full speed and it does isolate two people at a time, so, you get a lot of quality work and the competition aspect is what makes it really cool because we keep track of every rep of every competition, who wins and who loses, and the guys get into it. They want to win, and so I think that adds a whole other element to it.
We'll go back to Brendan.
At defensive end, Derek McClendon is someone who had to take a lot of reps this spring. I guess how did you evaluate how he did with that increased role?
Derek, I thought Derek made significant progress through the course of the spring. Probably the thing that hurt him, probably stymied his development as a player as much as anything, was not having a spring ball as a redshirt freshman. He didn't have that opportunity to grow and learn, and then he get thrown into it in the fall. And there were some things that he might have not been ready for. And I thought just his understanding of his role, how he needs to play, his strengths, what are his weaknesses, and how do you offset them. I just thought he did a really nice job growing as a player throughout the course of the spring. And, we need to see continued growth. We had, like I said earlier, we had an exit meetings and, my message to him was I saw significant progress, but we're nowhere near a finished product. So, continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to get stronger in the weight room. It's going to be a critical off season for him, but I was really pleased with his progress.
We'll go back to Ira.
Going back to some of those special teams drills, thinking back to last year, it seems like there were less block in the back type penalties on returns, at least just anecdotally. I didn't look it up. That's been an issue at times at this program. How did you guys feel like you guys did in that area? And then also, what's the key to success in that area?
Well, for one, the no penalties, don't beat yourself mentality is preached every single day by our staff and our program. I was super proud of the way we did a year ago. As a matter of fact, on the punt returns and on the kickoff returns, we had one penalty on the season. And that was kind of a silly holding call that was totally unnecessary. So we had one in-action penalty throughout the course of the year. I don't know if they keep stats. I'd find it hard pressed that wasn't towards the top of the country, if not the top. But I totally attribute that to the fundamentals and techniques that the guys buy into. We talk about having tight hands and tight elbows. So you're not going to get holding calls if your hands are in tight, but if your hands get outside the framework of your body, that's when penalties happen. We talk a lot about your body position relative to where the returner is. And if you're not in a position to make the block, don't put yourself in a bad spot by hitting somebody in the back. And those drills that you saw us do, those reinforce those ideas. That gives us real life ability to coach those situations. There's times that the best block is to not make the block because it's going to create a penalty. So, the more full speed competitive drill work, and the more times we can put our guys in those situations, the better off we are. But you definitely saw that translate a year ago because there was just the one holding penalty on a punt return.
We'll go to Aslan Hamidi.
Hey, Coach. Joining this a little bit late, so I don't know if anybody's asked you about this, but Keer Thomas, I know he wasn't able to play a lot this spring, obviously. I don't know if you guys have plans for if he's going to play on the inside or the outside, but at least were you able to make any sort of, I guess, evaluations of him during the spring?
The biggest evaluation we were able to make was just how he conducted himself in the meeting room and around the other guys. The thing that impressed me so much about Keer is he was able to bring a veteran presence into the meeting room. I think he's really, really football savvy. Just in our conversations and talking through our defense and our install, he understands the big picture of how the game needs to be played. I'm excited for him to be able to get healthy and get out there because I think he's going to provide, a leadership role because of his veteran presence. I think he commands some respect in the room, and I was really impressed by how quickly he's picking things up from a playbook perspective.
All right, we'll go back to Chris D.
After 15 practices with Jermaine Johnson, what maybe surprised you about him or was just unexpected for what you guys hoped he would be when you recruited him?
I didn't go in with a lot of preconceived expectations, but I would say the thing that might have surprised me a little bit was how physical he is in the run game. I knew he had some top end pass rush ability. But his physical presence in the run game was impressive. He brought it every single day. There was nothing finesse about his game from a pass rush or a run game perspective. And, without knowing him, my thought was that he was going to be a dynamic pass rusher, but his physicality in the run game was really impressive.
We'll go back to Ira.
And, I know Josh Farmer's moved inside, but he's a guy that you obviously recruited. Seemed like every time we watch you guys play, and especially in the spring game, he's making plays across the line of scrimmage. How rare is that for, a true freshman in his first spring, an early rollie at that position? And are you guys maybe even a little surprised by how well he's fit in?
I was super pleased with the way Josh performed this spring. I think probably one of the harder transitions to make, especially in a mid-year enrollee, is up front, especially in the interior, because it's a different ball game, for an 18-year-old that's going against, veteran, offensive lineman. And he never looked out of place. Obviously he didn't win every rep that he had, and there were moments that he had an opportunity to learn from things that happened to him, but he fights, he's tough, he works hard, and he makes plays. So, I was really impressed with him as a mid-year enrollee, true freshman, coming in, holding his own, and not looking out of place. There was never a time that you looked at it and said, "Oh wow, that looks like a high school senior." No, I mean he fought, battled, and competed with everybody, and it was impressive to watch.
We'll go back to Brendan.
You guys announced, or Florida State announced today, that there are going to be camps starting back in June, and including like a kicking camp. I guess two-part question. One, how difficult was the past year to not be able to evaluate, see guys at various positions in person? And two, how nice is it going to be just to be back and being able to coach high school kids again and getting that element in the summertime?
Yeah, no, the evaluation piece is super critical for us in every way. We want, especially in a kicking position, you want to be able to have hands-on opportunities to see guys work. This last season was difficult for everyone across the country from an evaluation perspective because you lost the piece with camp, obviously, but you also lost the in-person evaluation that you would normally get by going to a spring practice or a game in the fall. And, so everything was off film. And in some cases, there was no in-person at all. We signed 3 defensive ends that I've never met in person. It's unique. It's not unique to Florida State. It's just unique to the situation that we went through a year ago as obviously it's the world, transitioning, but from a football perspective, everyone was in the same boat. But it'll be interesting to see, 2 or 3 years down the line when we look back at this, and assess the recruiting from this past year. It was absolutely challenging, but I'm excited about the guys we're bringing in.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys.